Before the uprising, Kenya was a British colony, established in 1920. The British seized the best farmland, displacing local communities like the Kikuyu. Losing their land was both an economic and cultural blow, fueling deep resentment. Africans faced harsh laws, heavy taxes, and were forced to work for low wages on white-owned farms. Discrimination was everywhere. Africans couldn't grow cash crops like coffee or participate in government. Frustration grew as peaceful protests led by the Kenya African Union under Jomo Kenyatta were ignored. The British refused to return land or share power. Many young Kenyans, especially among the Kikuyu, lost faith in peaceful change. They saw that petitions and meetings brought no results. The sense of injustice and exclusion set the stage for a more radical response. The seeds of rebellion were sown as hope for reform faded. The desire for land, dignity, and self-rule became unstoppable. The Mau Mau movement was about to emerge. By the early 1950s, the Mau Mau movement was born among the Kikuyu. United by secret oaths, they aimed to reclaim land and win independence by force. The Mau Mau operated in small, determined groups, launching guerrilla attacks from forest hideouts. In 1952, the British declared a state of emergency after a surge in Mau Mau attacks. The British responded with overwhelming force. Soldiers, police, and loyalist Africans. Thousands were arrested, including Jomo Kenyatta, though he denied leading the Mau Mau. The conflict quickly turned brutal, dividing Kenyans and pitting neighbor against neighbor. Mau Mau fighters, often poorly armed, relied on their knowledge of the land and fierce resolve. They targeted both colonial authorities and Africans seen as collaborators. The struggle was desperate, a fight for freedom, land, and identity. The British labeled them terrorists, but for many, they were freedom fighters. Kenya was plunged into a violent and defining conflict. The war was marked by extreme violence on both sides. Mau Mau fighters killed settlers and thousands of Africans accused of collaboration, deepening community divisions. The British forced over 1 million Kikuyu into guarded villages, cutting them off from the rebels. Life in these villages was harsh. Families were separated, movement restricted, and suffering widespread. Tens of thousands were detained in camps where torture and abuse were common. The goal: break the Mau Mau spirit and force confessions. Conditions were horrific. Many died from disease, starvation, or violence. The camps, like Hola, became infamous for brutality. By 1956, the Mau Mau were largely defeated militarily, but the state of emergency continued. Officially, over 11,000 Mau Mau were killed, but the true toll was likely much higher. The conflict left deep scars, trauma, loss, and a divided society. The violence and suffering would shape Kenya for generations. The fight for freedom came at a terrible cost. Though defeated, the Mau Mau rebellion changed Kenya forever. The uprising proved that